Hello everyone out there in YouTube land. This is Phoenix Draconis, and this is Kaon Reviews. Now, as you saw in the intro, today's review video is going to focus on Transformers Legacy Evolution Maximal Lio Prime, or as I will refer to him from this point as Lio Convoy. Now, for anyone that is not familiar with this character, Lio Convoy is basically from Beast Wars 2, which is the Japanese series that came between seasons 1 and 2 of Beast Wars when it ran in the US. And you have the group of Cybertron and Destron, which is the Japanese equivalent of the Maximals and Predacons, and they pretty much land on the planet Gaia. Now, of course, naturally, they do battle like they normally do, and Lio Convoy happens to be the leader of the group. Now, this figure, ever since I saw him, the product shots and everything else, I know I had to get him. And it was just, as a matter of fact, before I continue any further, let me do a quick shout out to Optibotimus, who made it possible for me to get this figure. So, dude, 1,000 thanks, man. I really appreciate it. And so, when it comes down to this figure, it does bring back memories because I did see a couple of episodes here and there of Beast Wars 2, but I also had the figure about maybe almost 25 years ago. I had the figure, so I wish I still have it, but nonetheless, to see it in this form, under this line, oh yeah, I knew I had to get it. So let's go ahead and take a look at the box art here. It does have the open window. It's got that great artwork of him, just looking majestic, roaring a powerful roar. You can almost hear that. And you have the great artwork on the side. You have the close-up here, the full body shot, very nice. On the top here, you have his QR code, so when you scan it using your mobile device, you'll be able to get his tech specs. And of course, on this side, you have the great artwork here. You do see Lio Convoy right there. Very, very nice. And of course, you do have on the back, his product shots, both in robot mode, beast mode. You do see some weaponry coming out of his mane. Very, very nice. And of course, you do have the Evo Fusion, where you can be able to take his weapons, the little blasters here and there, and you can connect them to, the pieces of mane on the side of his arms, as well as the claws that extend from the back of his paw. So, very interesting. And of course, I'm going to try and zoom in here. Sorry. And you do see Lio Convoy with that wonderful head sculpt. I do like the paint applications on this. And you do see some blue on his chest there, so a lot of good molded detail. So, very, very nice. So let's go ahead and take one final look at the box there. I'll zoom out just a bit. Right there we go. Alrighty. And as Optibotimus, you know, it's always fond of saying, I'm going to loosely quote him. Let's get him opened up and let's see how cool he really is. All right, there he is, out of his box, posed and ready for battle. And damn, I have to say, I am very impressed with the figure so far. And I have to, like I said, I'm very impressed so far. And I mean, let's take a look at a lot of molded detail in the robot body itself. Now, zoom in here so you can take a closer look at that amazing looking, head sculpt. And whoa, that is so bleeping awesome. Look at that detail, the face sculpt. I'm going to try and brighten that up just a bit so it doesn't look too dark. I love how they had painted the antennae. I mean, that is really awesome. The paint on his face and face mask, very nice. The yellow optics, awesome. And right off the bat, as you can tell, some really good molded detail along this area. Now, as you can tell, it looks like they did a paint over the plastic here, and you got the red paint along the sides, along this blue area, his abdomen. Very nice. You see the Maximal symbol on there. Oh, one thing that I do want to show you here is this area right here, which is on the left side, which holds his matrix chamber. So very nice. And as a matter of fact, I'm going to try and bring that a little bit closer to you. Yeah. Ooh. There we go. Look at that detail on the inside. Holy cow. And then, of course, you do see his pudding. Oh. And then, of course, on the inside of his chest plate, some more molded detail. Good God almighty. So I'm going to go ahead and close this back up. Plop. Again, I am very, very impressed. Now, it looks like, let's see what that's all about. It looks like, yeah, it's a little bit of a paint scuff on the, I'm thinking, yeah, that's got to be some plastic detail when they detached it from the sprue before the painting. So they never did do a cleanup on that hand there. And I see it on both this one as well as this one. So, but it's not a deal breaker, at least in my opinion. So again, you do see the detail on his lower abdomen and crotch. Some really great detail on, you see the mechanical side, his knee pads. You do see his lion paws there, and some really good, nice heel spur. And then you do see a lot of beast pieces that basically are on there along his back and everything. Now, he does come with accessories, as you can see on his mane here. He's got some twin blasters on the other side, and in preparation, I also put those right here. So very nice. And I will be saying that a lot. But holy cow, that is interesting. I do like that. So let's go ahead and start off with articulation. I'm going to go ahead and close this down. His head, I want to say, there's not a whole lot of wiggly waggly. His head does turn around 360. My copy, the head is tight, but it can do a 360. His arms can go up, can go back a bit. It does have a bicep rotation, and his arms can bend around 90 degrees, as you can see. There is no wrist rotation, but it does go this way, and again, this is probably more for transformation. And for those that didn't see it, his arms can go 360, but again, there's a lot because of his shoulder pads from the beast mode, that gets in the way. So there you go. As you can tell, he does have a waist rotation, which is really tight. His legs can go up around 90 degrees, can go back around the same. Again, this figure is really tight. Does have thigh rotation above the knee. He's got a double joint, but can only go around 90 degrees. And again, this is more than likely due to transformation. He does have a calf or shin rotation here, and he does have an extreme ankle tilt. So there he is. So let's see, what I'm going to do is we're going to see whether or not he can do a kung fu kick. Can Lio Convoy do the kung fu kick? And yes, he can. I'm going to try and get him back here. Ta-da! Yes, he can do that kung fu kick. The return of the kung fu kick. So there he is. And again, I am liking this. The one thing that unfortunately, because of the lion's head and the rest of the lion's body on either side of his shoulders, it does make having them do any type of upper movement a little bit. Not that it isn't impossible, mind you. It's just that it makes it a little bit difficult. So I'm gonna go ahead. So there we go. All right. So that is his details, accessories, and articulation. Let's go ahead and move on to transformation. Now, as you can see, I've already prepared Lio Convoy, for transformation. Now, what we are going to do first and foremost is we're going to go ahead and put his head facing forward. I'm going to go ahead and tip we're going to fold the arms out like so. Okay. And of course, we're going to go ahead and take these hands, we're going to fold them in like this. Now, there's going to be a soft snap on there. You'll barely hear anything. Now, at the same time, we're going to go ahead and move this up. Go ahead and put this there. Now, as you can tell right off the bat, I do have his missiles in their appropriate areas for storage. Now, we're going to go ahead and turn this around. And like so. Like that. There we go. Now, one of the things we're going to do next is we're going to go ahead and open up his chest. Oh, there we go. Open that up here and here. I'm going to lift up the arms like so. Now, once that is done, we're going to go ahead and just untab the head so it'll point in like so. And we're just going to take this portion here and tilt it down. As you can see, we're going to twist it around. Now, once that is done, we're going to go ahead and just push that in. All right. Now, one of the things we're going to do is we're going to twist these arms. I'm trying to remember. I think, yes, that we're going to twist the arms from here on this gray piece. So right here, as I'm pointing out to you, we're going to twist that around. All right. Now we're going to go ahead and twist or move this arm around. I'm going to do it like so. And we're going to just adjust the mane here. And I'm trying to see, just trying to make sure that we got everything on here, because all this is supposed to fill up in here. So, trying to see if I'm doing anything wrong, because these flaps are supposed to go up. And just trying to get everything in here. And I do believe, yes, there we go. Okay, so not sure if anyone saw that, so I'm going to try and do that again using the other side. So what we're going to do is we're going to So we're going to twist this around so that way this gray piece here is this little small. I'm going to try and zoom in so you can see. So as you can tell, that little small screw or peg there is showing out, going out here. Now, at this point, you're just going to go ahead and fold that out. We're going to undo the main here. Now, once that is done, we're just going to go ahead and turn the armature this way. And at this point, all we're going to do is just fold this in. And I'm going to zoom out because you are not able to see anything. So as I was about to say, so once this armature is facing like this, I'm going to fold in the chest area, and at which point you're going to fold this main down, and of course I need to go ahead and put the leg up. Now, one thing that we also need to do, and I'm going to try and zoom in so you can see it, there is a tab, there is a slot right there, there's a tab right there, so that's going to peg like so, and we're going to do the same on this end. And again, I'm just snapping the main back in. Let me see here, make sure that we got everything on here correctly. So, one other thing, and I'm going to try and show that to you. There is a slot right here. There is a peg right over here. So, that is supposed to go in there. And of course, this section is going to peg in together. I'm going to zoom out. Sorry about that. So that's going to peg out like so. And we're just going to go ahead and just put all this together. And, oh, something I did forget. And I do believe, yes. So we need to put the back here. There are slots as well as pegs in that back section. This section's going to snap in here. And, oh, just to let you know, there's a peg right here that's going to go into that slot right there. And I'm going to try and just snap that puppy back in there. And, oh, I knew I was forgetting something. So, there is the lion's tail. I gotta pull that out from there. And we're going to go ahead and twist the thighs, pointing this way. Over here on the calves, we're going to do the same thing as well. And, ooh, man, I have to tell you, this thing is super tight. Ah, there we go. So that way that leg goes like so. I'm going to do the same with the opposite one. as I'm going to loosely quote him go. Second verse, same as the first. There. So now we got his hind legs. Oh, and I almost forgot, his heel spurs go in like so. Now, let's go ahead and proceed and try and get all this snapped in there. There we go. It just snapped very, very nicely. And I'm going to go ahead and try and get all of this together. And are we done? I do believe we are done. And boom. Oh, yes, yes. And one other thing, he has an opening mouth on there. So one final look-see. Yes, yes. Okay. And Lio Convoy is transformed. I'm going to go ahead and angle the camera just a bit. Zoom in. There we go. Boom. All right. So I've only transformed this a couple of times prior to filming this. So it's not a very intuitive transformation, but you know, can't really argue with the results. Now, and I'm pretty sure other people may have said this already, I'm not all that fond of the face sculpt. Because here on the packaging, here you have the majestic lion's roar there. And in terms of the actual figure, he's got a derp face. I'm just calling it like I see it, folks. He's got a derp face, and needless to say, Hasbro could have done it better in terms of, you know, the face sculpt in beast mode. Because I mean, that just looks really silly, and you really can't take him all that seriously. Even with his mouth open, he still has that dirt face. Now, one other thing I really wish they had done was actually, you know, giving him more lion-like, eyes, except it's just yellow plastic like the rest of his mane. So let's go ahead and take a look at the articulation on this. And that thing about it is it's really not that articulated. You know, you got some articulation there. I'm going to zoom out just a bit so you can see. So, you know, it's the same thing. He's got articulation here at the front paws. No paw movement here. He does have some, still the same ankle tilt as he did in robot mode and beast mode. He's got that. He's got some hind movement. Of course, he's got that that lifting leg. We're not going to touch on that one. But other than that, and of course his mouth. Now, in addition, he does have, and still retains on here, and if I can get it open, he's got the missiles on here. Now, of course, because I do have the missiles in storage here on his back section, You know, you can still pretty much put them on here, but right now I'm just placing them on here. So there he is in beast mode. I'm gonna try and see about bringing out a couple of other figures, do a little comparison. So give me a moment to get him transformed back, and we'll go ahead and proceed with the comparison. All right, so here we have Lio Convoy with Convoy. And you can tell that Convoy over here is a little bit taller than Lio Convoy. But not too bad though. I like the robot mode, don't get me wrong. The robot mode for Lio Convoy is very nice. There he is in comparison with the Earthrise Optimus Prime. And like I said, I like this figure. I mean, don't get me wrong. I had the original one that came out over 20 plus years ago. I really wish I still had it because I definitely would have loved to have seen the comparisons between them two. But again, it's not a bad looking figure. I'm glad I was able to get him. Once again, I do want to thank Optibotimus who made this possible. So, thumbs up, dude. Anyway, let me take another moment to go ahead and get Convoy out of the way, and I'll be right back with my final thoughts as well as my score. I have returned, and I appreciate your all's patience and waiting. So, here we have Lio Convoy once again. And as I stated before, you know, because I'm pretty sure I've been gushing about this figure throughout the course of the video. And I cannot stop saying it. I really like this figure. This is a really awesome, you know, throwback to his Beast Wars 2, you know, mode, or I should say Beast Wars 2 figure. And I can't say enough as to how much I like this figure. Though it is not without any problems, as I mentioned earlier. Articulation is very stiff due to the shoulder pads that he has. Range of motion is very limited. And as I mentioned earlier, and I'm pretty sure you heard me mention it, that it is very stiff in certain areas. So when you are transforming it, please be careful. And also, just look at the instructions on the figure, because it's not very intuitive. It took me a couple of tries, as well as watching a couple of videos, in order for me to get these arms to fit in, because I'm pretty sure during the transformation process you did see I did have some difficulty. So I had to look back on the instructions, but also seeing someone else transform it did help out a lot. So I'm hoping that, you know, if you get this figure, that you will also look at my video and see how I went about through the process of transforming it, as well as, you know, reviewing the articulation and whatnot. So But like I said, stiff joints, it's always a good plus, but this one's just a little bit too stiff for my liking. And I think in time it'll loosen up, but I'm not really planning on transforming him back and forth unless I take him to work and have him on display. Then I'll transform him. But again, I may not do that all too often. His beast mode looks great with the exception of that face. Oh my god. That face is a total joke. Here we have the illustration on the box that shows totally different. But then when you get the figure, it's like, what the hell happened? So, one of my online friends who does, customization as well as, upgrade sets for figures. I saw a CAD rendering of a new face for Lio Convoy. So I actually, in preparation for this video, I actually got in touch with him and asked him if he was still working on it. Apparently he still is. So I think someone also asked him how the removal of this face is going to be possible, because I'm just wondering whether or not that is going to be possible. Yeah, because as you can tell right off the bat, he's got these pins, these damn flat pins, flathead pins. And so, I mean, it would be simpler if there were screws, but that's not the case. And not to mention, the other side does not have the opening. So, I mean, I can probably yeah, I may just have to live with the face as is, because as you can tell, it's kind of derpy. And I'm not really liking the lion head sculpt. But the thing about it is, in this particular case, Hasbro has really made it totally impossible to customize this, not without having to do some major surgery on this figure. And that's the sad thing about it, is that it seems as if Hasbro is just trying to prevent customizations. Again, this is just my personal opinion on this. So on a scale of 1 through 10, I'm going to be generous, and I'm going to go ahead and give it an 8. Mostly because of the issues that I mentioned, the stiffness, the lack of articulation or range of motion. Not so much in robot mode, because you can pretty much try and lift the shoulder pads up and you still got that range of motion. But in lion mode, yeah, that's where you're going to run into some major problems on that. So yeah, it's not really working for me in beast mode. And more than likely, I may not even put him in beast mode. I may just keep him like that. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead, and like I said, I'm being generous when I say I'm going to go ahead and give him a score of 8. Because I may have just gone ahead and just given him a 7 and call it a night. But this is my take on the figure. This is my score. I want to hear from you. Were you able to pick up this figure? And if so, do you like it? Do you hate it? Leave me a comment in the comment section down below. Like, share, subscribe to my channel. Click onto the bell icon so you can be notified when I post up new videos. This is Phoenix Draconis, and I will catch you all on the flip side. Peace.